So a little more on degreasing. If you hold the screen up to the light and you can see through a part, like if it looks red, kind of like someone else's design, if you can see through it, that's okay. If you cannot see through it, it's not transparent, you need to use the power washer and spray that out. You can get the power washer like super close to that mesh and spray it out completely. But if it's see-through, then that means that ink will also go through the mesh. If light can come through, then ink can go through as well. To put the screen in, you're gonna push down on the bottom and then pop it in. There's a spring on the bottom, so you always wanna put it in the bottom first. And then you're gonna grab the scoop coater or the trough, and the little straight edge is gonna go up against the mesh. You'll start at the bottom, tilt it forward, and then swipe up. Do not come off the mesh until you get to the top. Notice Dildine tipped that trough back. You'll get to see him do it a second time here. So starting at the bottom, tilting it forward, letting that emulsion fall to the screen, and then swiping up. When you get to the top, tilt it back and then scoop up because you don't want any of that emulsion to fall. It is such a pain to clean up. Okay, so after this, it's still a little thick. So you're gonna go back to the bottom, keep it tilted back this time. We're just gonna swipe up, put pressure to collect the emulsion back into the trough. Any like extra remaining emulsion. You need to do that on both sides. So again, keeping it tilted back this time and swiping up. And then that's it. If you do spill some, clean it up, put it back in the emulsion bucket if you can. Notice he's gonna put his screen here in the cart. It goes in sideways. So see, it doesn't fit long ways. So you always wanna turn it and make sure it can go in sideways and your name is visible from the outside so you can find it. And then make sure you close that up too so the light doesn't hit it while we're gone. And then cleaning this up, you're just gonna hold it upright and use one of those cards to scrape all of that back in. And then that goes right into the sink. And I like to fill that scoop coater with water and just let it sit because the water will take it all off. Make sure you put this lid back on the emulsion. If you leave it out, it's gonna get ruined, and that's $80 for one bucket. So step one for burning and exposing your screen is laying your vellum on the glass, and you don't want to accidentally flip it backwards. Make sure it's going the correct way, like looking up at you. And then you're going to lay the flat side of the screen down on the vellum, and you can see your design through there. And then put the rope over the screen. That's going to allow air to get inside, so the vacuum seal really smushes that down. This is what it should look like. And then to close it, so once you pull that lid down, there's two pieces here. You need to do that first piece, hook it, and then clamp it down. And then set your timer based on your screen mesh count. That's on the side of the wall, right by the exposure unit. And then when you start it, flip that first switch up. So your mesh count is located on your screen. It's either gonna be on the top or bottom. Sometimes it's written on the mesh itself at the top or bottom. Sometimes it's on the outer edge of the metal. So now nothing's gonna look like anything happened until we rinse it. So just spray the front and the back with the overhead sprayer and then let it sit for a full minute. And then you can come back to it and spray it again. Don't ever use the power washer at this point. The power washer will take off everything, not just your design. So you see I waited a minute and now it's coming out a lot easier with the overhead sprayer. If you think you're done, hold it up to the light and make sure you got all of the emulsion out. If you're doing a two color, you will have two different pieces of emulsion that you need to burn into 2 separate screens. So here's that second screen that you would burn just like you did the first one, but now you have one screen with the pricklies of the cactus, and then you have one screen with the base of the cactus, specifically for this design.